Welcome into another video, and today we are going to be talking about my top 5 cornerbacks of the 2025 NFL draft class. Now, this is a cornerback class that has a lot of talent at the top, and I think, we've got 4 first-round guys, in my opinion, and then after that, I think we see a big gap between probably like late first to like mid to late second from the top 4 and beyond. Only doing 5 today. I'm going to be doing 5 safeties as well. Got edge rushers still left to do, offensive linemen. So we shorten this down to 5. And I would say that these top 4 guys are all going to be playmakers in the NFL. I don't see a bust on this list. Now, that may come off as a hot take considering, every single first round pick doesn't always pan out. But I really love all 4 of these guys. When you're going through this process, you kind of got to play it a little bit by ear. You have to take some national consensus into your stake here. Consider, okay, let's just for an example, last year, Dallas Turner, you had to play it into there. I didn't think Dallas Turner was that great of an elite pass rusher. Same thing with like Bo Nix last year. I did not think Bo Nix was worthy of the number 12 overall pick, let alone a first round pick. And that is something I was wrong on. He lived up to the potential this year. But that's what I'm kind of saying here. When I'm doing these lists, you have to take the national consensus into it somewhat. Because if, most of America thinks that this guy is worthy of a first round pick, they are, even though I wasn't a huge Dallas Turner, Bo Nix guy. Regardless, I think these 4 guys on my list are surefire things. And I really like my 5th guy too, so let's go ahead and kick it off with him first. At number 5, we have Shavon Revel Jr. out of East Carolina University. Freak of nature, coming in at 6'2", 194 with a 4.4 40 time that was ran in 2021 at the ECU prospect camp with an ADP of 42.8. Had 2 interceptions and 2 pass breakups in only 3 games before tearing his ACL. And in 2023, he was second team all AAC. I gotta say, I am shocked to have a guy who is coming off an ACL tear and only started 15 games in the AAC on my top 5 list. It is my number 5 spot, but he is a very intriguing prospect. At ECU's prospect camp in 2021, he posted a 4.4 40 time with a 39-inch vertical and an 11-foot broad jump at 6'2", 190 build. Unreal. I mean, those are first-round intangibles, people. He comes in at the ideal height to match the size of the NFL wide receiver, the speed to match an NFL wide receiver, the burst, the explosiveness. He's got it all. His long arms and top-end speed make him a very nice press man corner, and when he does get beat, which is very rare, he has phenomenal recovery speed. Revel Jr. does have a real knack for knocking out the ball, bursting into those throwing lanes, getting pass breakups. He doesn't have elite ball skills, though. Not a lot of interceptions in his time at ECU. So, I mean, there was only a 15-game sample size, but still, his ball skills aren't of the, what you would really like out of a premier cornerback. You want him to be able to get the turnovers, but he's still a knockdown machine, still breaks up a lot of passes. The focus of whatever NFL team is drafting him is definitely going to be his instincts and his technique at the position. He only has 15 games playing football at the D1 level. So the coaching staff that drafts him is going to really have to sharpen those tools about him. But I mean, come on, this is like freak of nature, alien type kind of measurables here. You can't get a 39-inch vertical, 11-foot broad jump at 6'2", 195 that often, really. Like, those kind of guys come around every so often, and he does have, like, I would say probably like 2nd or 3rd round grade on his play, but he's got round 1 traits and athleticism. I would probably put him in the middle pack, 2nd round kind of guy. It's going to be very interesting to see what his landing spot will end up being. The ACL and only playing 15 games in the AAC could, I think, maybe cause him to slip into the 3rd round. That could scare some GMs away big time, taking a risk like that with your 2nd round pick. But like I said, he's got round 1 traits, and, he's definitely got day 2 play. So I love me some Siobhan Revel Jr. I'm excited to see where he goes. I'm excited to see how he turns out as a prospect. Moving on to my number 4 cornerback in this draft class, we have Maxwell Hairston out of Kentucky, coming in at 5'11", 183 with a 4.28 40 with an ADP of 45.7. In only 7 games this year, he had an interception, 4 pass breakups, 2 forced fumbles, and in 2023, he was second team All-SEC with 5 interceptions, which was the most in the SEC. A very fun, energetic player to watch. He does have that cornerback aura and that swagger to him, the no-fly zone type mentality. He has that. You need that with your defensive backs. You're going, it's a very personality-driven position. You're going one-on-one with a guy across the ball from you, receivers who are also known for being divas. He has all of that. He has the mentals down. His smaller frame will occasionally struggle in the NFL with some of the bigger bodies that he'll be lined up against, and that also somewhat makes him an unreliable tackler. I know some people view him as an absolute liability as a tackler. The more I dove into his tape, I don't think he was as horrible as some people make him out to be as a tackler. He really does come down quick and drives hard and hits with force. Just his smaller frame is unreliable, especially in the run game. And he's not really one of those guys who's going to be able to bring down these bigger running backs, tight ends, receivers on his own, but he is better than he's given credit for. Other than that, my guy is straight lockdown. His elite speed and burst allow him to quickly burst into these throwing lanes for interceptions and pass breakups. He's got 6 picks and 10 pass breakups in his last 20 games. High level anticipation and good eyes. He's always reading the QB, always making the right reads. I love his instincts. He's going to be a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks just because, he has the ability to play off just a little bit, and the burst and the explosiveness, the speed to bait these quarterbacks into making the throw thinking he will have enough time. No, he's going to jump that, and he has examples of housing that shit as well. And despite his smaller frame, he does have a 40-inch vertical and very long arm, so that's also going to help him against these bigger body receivers. He's going to be able to blanket some coverage, lower the catch radius for opposing receivers. Super excited about Maxwell Hairston. I think he has first round worthy here. I think the Buffalo Bills taking him in the late first makes a lot of sense, and I would love to see him in Sean McDermott's system. Moving on to my number 3 cornerback, we have Jahdae Barron out of Texas, coming in at 5'11", 194. Have you noticed that all of these guys are 194, by the way? 4.39 speed with an ADP of 13.5. A hell of a resume with 5 interceptions, 11 pass breakups this year. First team AP All-American and first team All-SEC, the Jim Thorpe Award winner, and the College Football Peach Bowl defensive MVP. Jahdae Barron is maybe the best all-around cornerback in this class. He's going to come in and be a day 1 nickelback starter for some of these NFL teams. I mean, we are talking like A+++++ in run support. Go watch his tape against Oklahoma in 2023. My guy was setting the edge, working through his blocks, closing quickly, filling gap, wrapping up, and driving through the ball carrier. He is phenomenal run defender. And I think that's why he's going to be able to slide so easily into being a day 1 nickelback for a lot of teams. He's a guy who's going to finish each rep strong, good instincts and good feel in coverage. He does seem to be a step behind the receiver at the break of the route. He doesn't flip his hips very fluidly, and it takes him a second to get into position to do so. But his recovery speed, 4.39 speed here as well is good. So his athleticism makes up for that. It's not too much of a concern, but I think that should be his main focus on something and getting better at once he gets into the league, something that coaching staffs are going to have to help him get better at. Other than that, like I said, day 1 starting nickelback. Some of the reports I've been reading, safety, I can see it. He could be a safety. I could see it, but I think this guy is worthy of a top 20 pick, no doubt about it. The Arizona Cardinals here make a lot of sense. Moving on to my number 2 cornerback in the 2025 NFL draft class, we have Will Johnson out of Michigan, coming in at 6'2", 194 with an ADP of 14.9. Only played 6 games this year, had a serious case of the turf toe. Still managed to find his way onto the 3rd team AP All-American in 2023. He was first team All-Big Ten, a national champion, and the national championship game defensive MVP. Will Johnson, straight up dog. Long, lengthy DB, really good size, and unreal ball skills. He really does have pro-level instincts already. He reads the quarterback so well in zone coverage. He's the ultimate baiter. Good anticipation, and he does have some slight burst to just pop into these throwing lanes and get interception. Fluid is a word you will see all over when describing Will Johnson, and it makes perfect sense. His pedal to shuffle to run is all in one fluid motion. Hip and feet alignment are locked down. He really has some of the best technique, if not the best technique in this draft class. My only complaint about Will Johnson is that his long speed isn't really the greatest, and it causes him to occasionally get stacked, and once that happens, it's kind of over with for him. And then I talked about his anticipation, how well he reads the quarterback. That sometimes almost causes him to be too jumpy. He is a true ball hawk. He's so ball hungry, so occasionally you will see him getting caught up in some double moves. Other than that, and other than his lower body injury history, Will Johnson is a pro's pro. I think he's worthy of a top 10 pick. If there wasn't this generational talent ahead of him, he would easily be the best cornerback in a lot of draft classes. And like I said, generational talent. Moving on to my number one, and that is the one, the only Travis Hunter. Left him off of my receiver video. Coming in at 6 foot 188 with a 3.2 ADP. In 2024, he had 4 interceptions, 11 pass breakups. And then, these are just some of the accolades he won. I could not fit them all on this list. Heisman Trophy winner, College Football Player of the Year, Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, Bednarik Award, Paul Hornung Award. The list goes on and on and on. It was like a book going through all of his accolades, people. I left Travis Hunter off of my wide receiver list for a reason, and it's because I think he is going to be playing a lot of cornerback in the NFL. But stemming from his wide receiver skill set, this makes him one of the most unique cornerbacks in the history of the NFL. His elite ball instincts and just general knowledge of the opposing position that he is covering make him a one-of-a-kind prospect. If you ever hear a color commentator say during a game, it's a wide receiver playing cornerback, this is like the perfect definition. This is the true definition of a wide receiver playing cornerback. He's able to go step for step with opposing receivers, extremely quick feet, great explosiveness. His quick feet, explosiveness allow him to break on the ball. He could cover all over the field. So many times you just see him come out of nowhere and make an outstanding defensive play. His man coverage will get even better once he puts on some NFL weight. But Travis Hunter is going to be a day one dominant zone lurking ball hawk for any NFL team who lands him. And let's not forget, this is a guy who has the ability to give you 10 to 15 snaps on offense as well. One of the more unique prospects you will ever see come out of college football. Travis Hunter, Heisman for a reason. I think if he doesn't pan out in the NFL, it would go down as one of the all-time busts because he has had hype around him now for 3 seasons in college football. And it's just his uniqueness, how well he plays both sides of the ball. People are giving him Shohei Ohtani comparisons already. That might be a little much. Overall, that's my number one guy. Those are my top 5 guys. Like I said, I think those final 4 guys are all first-round worthy guys. Revel, freak of nature, great athlete. I would probably place him in the mid to late second round only because of the ACL and the lack of D1 experience. But those first 4 guys, bang. First-round grades, all really good, solid lockdown cornerbacks. I'm going to go ahead and book it right now. All 4 will have long-term success in the NFL. You can literally write that down, save it, check it, put it wherever. I don't care because that's how confident I am in that take. And thank you guys so much for tuning into another video. We'll see you guys after the weekend with some edge rushers and some safeties. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good shit. And peace.